Hello everybody, and welcome back to our weekly Beastars video, and today we are talking about episode 7, What Lies Underneath One's Uniform and Fur, and for Odin's sake, can the show please just relax? My heart just can't take this show sometimes, and you know what else my heart can't take? The amount of support you guys have been giving these Beastars videos. Seriously, it is genuinely so appreciated, especially in this very crazy time for YouTube. It is really kind of you guys to be sharing the videos around. And speaking of which, I want to give a big shout out to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. At Eric the Wolfie, at Berserker Vivo, at That Sergle, at Bree Van G, at KHR Alice, at DC31990, at Silverback008, at Darkfire Player 4, at Debrianator, at UD Hoshi, at Voz457, at Pyromantics PNG, and at Jackson the Bung. My goodness, thank you for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, all of you. And if you would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Beastars video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Okay, my goodness, this was a lot, wasn't it? Why can't this show relax? Why can't this show just calm the hell down? Why has it gotta toy with my emotions like that? Why you gotta give me a love triangle in the middle of everything? Also, why you gotta show a full-out sex scene between a deer and a rabbit? That's a thing that I said on the channel that I can't take back. Well, anyway, before we get into all of that fun stuff, and believe me, there's a lot of emotions to be had this week, I want to actually talk about a character who is in no way involved with anything that is going on, and that is new best girl, not really, but kind of. That is Legom. I believe her name is Legom. Lego my ego, I get. Oh my god, that works so well. So Legom is a hen, and she is just, I don't know, I almost made her the thumbnail. Genuinely did. She just made me laugh. I don't know what I'm gonna make the thumbnail. I don't know. You're hearing me try to piece together the thumbnail on the spot in the video. Damn, meta. Anyway, Legom. I really liked this character for all the time that she was on. She was on, I think, for only 4 minutes of this episode, so she takes up the beginning part. Now, normally when you're writing your fiction, you want every part of your story to at least add up to something. And I find it curious that somehow this episode broke that rule entirely with Legom, who has nothing to do with this week's episode at all. She takes up 4 minutes, and like it's a long 4 minutes until the OP. And the whole time, I was laughing my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. And then the OP hits, and then the rest of the episode goes by, and by the time the credits rolled around, and we will get to those credits, I was sitting there going, wait, Legom never came back. What the hell was any of that? But you know what? It's still pretty great. What a bizarre input. I don't know if Legom's ever coming back. I hope she is, because that was so random. But I kind of loved it. I loved that she takes pride in her work, you know? She's like, this is not just a spare time job, just so you know. This is my passion. I take pride in my work. And I was like, preach, girl. I love Legom. I did jokes that she is best girl, but maybe she can be like, can we give her some other kind of award? Best chicken? Can she get best chicken or whatever? I don't know. Best hen? Can she have best hen? She's great. Best hen in show. Legom. I just loved that whole aspect. And I loved like the little, again, it's a little bit of info on like little pieces of info really do flesh out a character. Something as simple as just Legosi really likes having egg sandwiches on a Wednesday because the girl who lays eggs on a Wednesday really takes care of her eggs, and so blah blah blah. Like the characters are all intertwined, even if they may not speak too much. Little things like that just really make the episode so, like, make the show rather so fleshed out and just interesting. I'm sorry, I think maybe I spent too long talking about a hen, but that's just Beastars, man. Beastars has these characters who just show up and I just fall in love with them, aka Jack, who is slowly becoming a best boy candidate just by how darned adorable he is. I love Jack. I love Jack to pieces. I thought his whole... Okay, as usual, we are going to be jumping all the hell over the place, and I apologize in advance. I am still very much new to these long-form content. I think I only started making these videos. I almost called it Deep Thoughts again. I haven't called it Deep Thoughts in a long time. I don't even know if I ever referred to it as Deep Thoughts. By the time Beastars showed up, I kind of just referred to it as like my weekly check-in with these shows, because I don't want to say episodic reviews, because let's be real, I am all the hell over the place. It's not quite an episodic review as much as it's just my thoughts on the show at the time. And I gotta say that at the time that I am recording this, Jack's scene with Legosi was hilarious, where he finds Legoshi's, stash. And I haven't done this in ages, but I actually laughed so hard I had to pause the episode, finish laughing, and then rewind it. I actually went back a couple scenes just so that I could start that scene again, because I thought it was so damn funny. The way Jack and Legosi play off each other is friggin' brilliant. I just love their dynamic, that Jack is like, I've known this kid for years. I've known him since he was a pup. Like, I've known him for ages. I can't believe he's become a degenerate. And you see the thing again. And my boy said, drop kick. Like, my boy's, I don't remember what it was. He was like feeding his, like what was it? Like his bugs or something. I think he has like a little, like, you know, those little, like, I don't know what you call them, but those little containers that you use to like take care of bugs. Like Legosi has one of those, and it looked like he was feeding the bugs in the container or something. And Jack just puts his snout in, which, by the way, I love that the fact that the characters are animals is never taken for granted, because it not only comes up in terms of narrative, but it also comes up in terms of like gags. Because instead of poking his head in, he just pokes his snout in, and he's like, Legoshi, Legosi, listen to me, man. I don't care what you're into. You're my buddy. And Legosi's like, because Legosi hears the words like rabbits because he's like, I don't know, you know, like, we're friends, and like, if you had to tell me stuff, like, I'd be here, I'll listen, like, you know, if you're into, like, I don't know, white rabbits or something, I'd be dropkick. It's so good. Oh my god, I loved it. I thought that might be the funniest scene I've seen in an episode of anime in a long time. I was dying. I thought it was so funny. The face he gives, the face Legosi makes is so genuine, right? It's so like that moment where you're totally embarrassed and you're trying to really hide the fact that you just got found out, and you're like in total shock that you just got found out about, like, whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be what Legosi got found out for, but you know that face where you've been caught doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing. And Legosi makes that face of like, oh no. And Jack's like, listen, man, like, it's cool. Just please shut your mouth. You're scaring me. Oh, Jack, my boy Jack, my precious boy Jack. I love Jack in the same way that I loved Legom from the beginning. See, it all ties in. I'm working on tying these videos together in a cohesive video. It's never gonna happen, but maybe one day. But enough about Jack. We gotta get to the big part. We gotta get to the big thing in the episode. You know what it is. I know what it is. We're gonna talk about Juno first, though, because I like stalling. Okay, so Juno, here's the thing with Juno. I liked Juno, and then all of you made me realize that she's probably gonna do something horrible. I'm gonna go ahead and ask that you stop hinting at things that are gonna happen in the episode, my dudes. I appreciate it. I'm already hyped. You don't have to get me hyped, and you don't gotta hint at stuff. Half the fun of these videos is, I would assume anyway, is hearing my genuine first reactions to the episode, right? So if you hint at stuff like, oh man, like, because people were like quoting me in the comments going, I really like Juno, in quotes, and then, oh boy, you better just wait until it's like, dude, that's not a hint. That's telling me something's gonna happen with Juno. And like the hints in the biggest quotations I can give. Y'all, listen, don't hint at manga stuff. And if you're watching the live chat right now, I'm probably telling you, in fact, JoJo in the present, watching this video with you guys, please tell everybody, don't put manga stuff in the comments. You're just gonna get your comment deleted. Don't do it. I don't read manga. I watch anime. Maybe I'll read the manga once the show's finished, but I watch the show, I'll be surprised. I don't read the book first. I watch the show first, and then I read the book. So sometimes I'll go back and read the manga. For Beastars, yeah, you better believe I'm gonna go back and read the manga after the show's done. Not this season, the show. But before any of you manga fans get upset at me for saying that I'd rather watch the show first, rest assured, I have seen the art from the manga. You better believe it's on the top of my list. I promise, once the show is done, I will pick up the manga and I will be delighted to see all the stuff that the show had to skip for time. But for now, we talk about the anime, so keep it to the anime. Y'all ruined Juno for me. I mean, I guess like I can kind of understand where people are coming from, right? They don't want me to be like super attached to Juno only to have it ripped away, because I'm assuming something's gonna happen with Juno. Something dark's gonna go down. So I don't know quite what yet. If I had to assume, she's gonna get real defensive of Legosi, and especially if she ever finds out about Haru. Oh boy, I can only imagine the drama that would occur. I can only imagine the scares that would occur. That's gonna... Ugh. So yeah, now I know that about Juno. I would have maybe had a vague hint after this week's episode, but yeah, I went into this episode knowing that there's probably gonna be something happening, so thanks for the spoilers. But yeah, don't do that. Now that said, even though I do have a pretty good feeling I know what's gonna happen with Juno, I gotta say, the scene of her practicing her dancing with Legosi was adorable. And okay, listen, I had said that Legosi is a B-tier husbando for me in the last video, and I said that in the husbando video as well, and people were all defensive, but y'all, B is a good. B means good, in my opinion anyway. And I mean, you guys watch these videos and you've seen my rating system, so you know that B means good. So I was like, yeah, Legosi's a good husbando, but y'all who have Legosi in A or higher, my goodness, that shot of Legosi where he like takes off, like, now listen, y'all, I ain't a furry, but even your boy was like, Legosi, my guy, calm down. For a brief moment in time, for like a split second, your boy went full furry. And when I say like furry, because like there seems to be like some miscommunication. When I say furry, I mean like those attracted to anthropomorphized animals. I don't mean like furry as in like furry, the people who enjoy watching series with anthropomorphized characters, because in that sense, everybody's a furry. When I say furry, I specifically mean like those attracted to. I know that that's not quite what the term means, but that's how I'm saying it. So if you ever hear me say it, now you know like the context in which I am saying it. Because yeah, I guess by definition, because I am enjoying the show, I guess you could label me as furry. I've said on the channel before, you guys can kind of call me whatever. I'll give you guys like clear answers on what I am, but you guys can call me whatever you want. I don't care. If you want to consider me a furry, you consider me a furry. I like this show. I'm not really attracted to any of the characters in like a physical sense. I am asexual, so I'm not really attracted to anybody in a physical sense, but in an appearance sense, I mean. And yeah, I'm just, like, appearance-wise, I just don't really find myself attracted to these characters. However, like I said, for a split second, I was like, damn, Legosi, you gotta keep the sweater on, dude, because you giving me some feelings. But okay, we have rambled enough. We gotta talk about it. I don't even know if I want to talk about it, because, like, my heart, and now I'm concerned. Because you guys know me. My ship. My like OTP, I will go down with this ship, has been Louis and Legosi, or Louis and Legosi, whatever you want to say. And now that is being challenged, because even I was just like, Louis, how could you? Even though it's like, we know the backstory now, so I understand how he could, but it still sucks, because Legosi's our boy. Like, listen, my best boy is still Louis, but Legosi's such a good boy. So it's like whenever something bad happens to him, you're like, but why? Because he's such a good boy. So seeing Louis break this man's heart, it broke my heart. I don't want to talk about this. I mean, I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm JoJo talks too much is what I do. But it just breaks my heart. Ah, man. These three are going to kill me. Haru, Legosi, Louis. Is that like the OT3 of the season? Is that the OT3 of the year? I really don't know. Can they even be an OT3 if two of them might kill each other? I really don't. Oh, I don't even want to think about that. See, that's why I'm upset, right? Like, that's where you get my goat, or my deer in this case, because, like, I ship these two. I don't want them to fight, but that scene of Legosi, like, crushing the paint, and then, like, when he puts it up to his face, and he says that, like, I understand now. I love you. Like, I was like, whoa, my guy, relax. And like that's the scene from the manga. That's the scene from the manga that I was like, okay, because I saw somebody posted like the two side by side. I still think the anime looks good. Like that scene, like Legosi's eyes like being red on the side, and like the way the paint like smooshes into his face, like it looks great. But I don't really think you can argue that the manga doesn't look better, because the manga just looks so good. Like that panel from the manga looks great. This shot still looks great. I'm not taking anything away from it. I think the anime team did a fantastic job with that. That's just me. I know some folks, I think I saw, I did see some people on Twitter complaining about it. Not like complaining, but saying like, well, this is, like this stuff that you have to kind of sacrifice in when you're making translating from one medium to another. That's gonna happen. And I saw a lot of that, and like I respect that. I like that a lot of people are like, listen, man, it's a 3D anime. Not just that, even in regular anime, this scene would not have looked the exact same as the manga, since they don't, like, the character designs are a little different from the manga, so it wasn't going to be one for one. I do think the manga panel looks, like, if this shot from the anime is like an A, then I would have to say that the shot from the manga is like an S. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're both great, but one is just that little bit better. But that's just me. What's gonna happen? What is gonna happen? You know what? I'm not gonna talk about this anymore. What I am gonna talk about is Haru's daydream whilst in mid-coitus, whilst in mid-horizontal hustle, I'm not gonna keep doing it. But Haru's like daydream, right? What in the holy hot damn? What in the hell was that? That was stunning. The animation in that scene was beautiful. Can you imagine if the whole show looked like that? I like the CG look, right? Like when it's orange, I'm down for CG anime. You know what I mean? Studio Orange does good stuff. But man, the animation in Haru's Daydream was brilliant. And also, by the way, a perfect way to make the audience know, like, hey, this isn't like really happening. This isn't like a memory. This is a dream, because it looks so different. And funny enough, very dreamlike, obviously. It's just really well done. And it's interesting too, because she describes it as this like forest where she feels nothing but loneliness, and she's grasping at branches, and she just can't seem to get them away. And you see her grab onto Louis's, or Lewis's, whatever you want to say, his antlers, and you're like, oh shit, the forest is Louis. Oh, the emotions. Those two break my heart. And also it brings up an interesting point, because I never really considered this, right? Because if two characters, right, say in this case Louis and Haru, if they were to get married, they cannot have kids. I mean, they could adopt, but they couldn't have kids. And Louis's family, I guess, is like a respected family, and he has already had his fiancée chosen for him so that he may carry on the family's bloodline. So it's a whole bloodline thing, which, I mean, like, I'm not even gonna say I get it. It sucks. It sucks for Louis, because what if he loves Haru? Like, what if he genuinely loves her? He didn't say that he did, but like, what if he genuinely loves her? He does say later in the episode, like, she didn't even consider my feelings, when he thinks that Legosi was stopping Haru, and it does break my heart, because I'm like, he cares on some level, right? So like, say that I'm right, which I never am, but let's pretend like I'm right this time, and Louis loves Haru. He can't marry the person he loves. Isn't that the whole point of marriage? I mean, when you talk about bloodlines, though, like, you can look at all of history and just point to, like, I don't think many kings married out of love, you know what I'm saying? So I get it, but I don't condone it. I feel like if one species wants to marry another species, then they should feel free to do so and should not be mocked by Beastars society, man. I'm sorry, I don't know why I went there, but, like, yeah, it adds a whole other, like, dynamic. I think the whole, like, one species falling in love with another species, it has a whole layer of subtext that we could probably tear apart for days. I'm not going to here, because I've definitely talked too long as it is. In fact, I should probably just wrap up this video quickly by saying this Meteor Festival arc is gonna make me lose my mind, and that ED was wild. The ED suddenly shifting to all dark as we see Legosi finally going full tilt bozo, like going absolutely insane. And yes, I just quoted Robin Williams. If you noticed that, good for you. But yeah, like after Legosi, or Legoshi, because I've seen it pronounced both ways, goes full crazy. All right, he goes like, I love you, and like it's like, oh, it's spooky. After that, you get the ED, and the ED's also spooky. And I was like, man, it's good stuff. Beastars is so good, you guys. I don't know if I said that yet. I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but like, I kind of like Beastars. On that note, everybody, I'm going to give this week's episode a very strong rank of A. This is definitely an A-tier episode, borderline S. Friggin' loved it, and the ending is brilliant. I don't mean just the ED, but like the whole end scene was brilliant. I loved it. And on that note, everybody, that's gonna wrap up today's video. But before we take off, I want to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Omder Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, Verdon, and Westbourne Eastbred. A huge thank you to those of you who support the channel over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get over there, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. Thanks once again for checking out today's video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, then you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't gonna tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated. And if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.